So we had a question from one of our viewers, and he's a surfer, and he's having problems, which I suspect may have stemmed from doing a lot of coding as a programmer. But he asked me, what about pop-ups, which are things like a push-up with momentum and holding onto the board when you're going under a tunnel. But I thought, well, Dr. Markison lives in California. Certainly he's seen surfers. But it turns out Dr. Markison was a surfer. So welcome back to the show, our medical expert, Dr. Robert Markison. What would you like to say about surfing injuries?
Click the subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you'll know when new videos are posted.
Well, I started to see them when I was surfing Ocean Beach off San Francisco and riptides and so on. So you're looking at a washed up surfer right here. But I was smart enough at least to get a medium to long board with plenty of flotation. But beyond that, I started to see surfing related injuries, and the complications of marriage and family kind of took me out of the water in that context. At any rate, the idea of extreme push off is always risky in terms of the ligamentous structure of the wrist. You have radius, you have ulna, you have carpus, then you have the bones coming out into the digits. And so an extreme pop-off kind of position can strain the ulnar side of the wrist, radial side, or worse yet, can dissociate, split apart the scaphoid and lunate bones as you drive the capitate wedge-like between them.
And so viewers, I would like to point out there's a fabulous episode on scapholunate injuries if you want to learn more about scapholunate injuries. Go ahead.
Right, so don't push your luck in terms of scapholunate or triangular fibrocartilage or any other structures. And the extreme stretch kind of things can drive all the flexor tendons and their muscular muscle bellies against the median nerve in the confines of the carpal tunnel with a fibrous roof and a bony arch behind. And so you drive all that stuff up suddenly, and then that combined with cold exposure can give you some momentary numbness, or worse yet, tip you over towards carpal tunnel or ulnar entrapment neuropathy. So be careful that you don't overdo it. And obviously, when you're coding or doing other computing, light touch is the right touch, nothing percussive ever. You go to the least key pressure to generate a character. If you're doing words and numbers, use voice recognition. Otherwise, use a combination of light touch, proper split and tilt adjustable keyboard, and foot pedals. But these are foot switches. And so you can assign them however you want. So you can avoid unnecessary use of perimeter keys, sort of thing. I'm not anti-surfing, but please be careful and pre-hydrate and post-hydrate.
Yeah, I think one of the issues that's so tricky is how do you do enough so that you're living your love, doing what you love, but not overdoing it. And it's so tricky because it's so easy to just overdo it one day and then you get into this cycle of injury and re-injury.
So there are a few metrics that are important. One, a good night's sleep. Never do anything forceful physical if you're sleep deprived, either overnight or in the aggregate. Cumulative sleep deprivation, very bad for you. Second metric is making sure that you don't have pain in the moment. And the third, perhaps most importantly, is if you have more pain the next day, you've done too much the day before. But combination of restorative sleep, proper metabolic endocrine function, good hydration, and quit while you're ahead.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Markison. I knew I could count on you, even though this is sort of way beyond what most doctors would know, but thank you for being the one who does.
Well, we didn't go into the head injuries and the cervicothoracic lumbar spine problems and livers and spleens and all the other things that I've seen and treated among surfers. Be careful. And bigger animals than you are bigger for a reason. If they're about, you shouldn't be.
Okay, we will take that into consideration, Dr. Markison. Thank you so much for your time.